today I'm giving myself a bit of a challenge, to say the least. And what I've got here is a badly corroded front bumper from my Talbot Express. You can see corrosion has got the better of it. Now unfortunately these bumper bars are not available at the moment, and somebody may reproduce them in the future. They're currently priced at £118 including VAT at Coastal, and wherever I've looked they're just unobtainable. So it looks like I've been driven to a drastic repair now, and on early Talbot this would be the bumper with some corners and you'd see it. Now on a later Talbot they tend to surround it with some fibreglass fancy moulding, and I think probably they do an excellent job of trapping the bumper in and stopping it breathe, and a good breeding ground for corrosion. Now this is the edge which you would mount a plastic corner to what's basically fell off there. I think it was something like that, but it fell off with handling it. So I have got some steel and I'm hoping to rebuild this. The first thing I want to do is take a cut brush on an angle grinder and go through this bumper and give it a really good scrub up both sides. So it's goggles and gloves on. So for the next pass we've got a twisted knot wire wheel, and this should get into all the little grooves and things like that a little bit better than the cut brush. So anywhere shine is good metal, and anywhere rusty isn't, and we can't weld to the rust, so it's all got to go back to good shiny steel. And it's always worse than you think once you peel back the layers. Got some quite deep pitting on the top. But I'm just going to attack that with the next stage, the flat wheel, and just see what's left of it. Well, we've conservatively removed the corrosion so far, and when we use this flapped wheel, that will actually take some of the metal away. So we need to use it with caution. And so the whole working area has been cleaned, and what we want to do is air dust all this pitted out and get back to the nice shiny good stuff there. So if we try and weld to that, it'll just start spitting and it won't be particularly good. Now this is the best side, and it's a little worse on the other side, so I think I'll do the repair from this side, go back to the good metal, and we'll get these removed both sides. Well, that's the brackets removed. What I did, I stood on the bumper and just used the impact gun. So stand on the bumper, push that down to the ground, as you'll only get so far if you try and do it on a bench. And then this side, I'll put a socket on just to push the stud up, and that helped remove it with the impact gun. And the next level of brutality upwards is a grinding disc. So we've ground this, obviously that piece is going. I've got some deep pitting there to consider, and that's the hole where the bumper goes, and it seems to be quite well protected. I've ground away to get to the good steel, and if I can make a repair what perhaps butts up to that, I'll then have to make another repair here, another sheet here, and I may incorporate that into it. We'll see. I'm thinking it'll just save drilling the bumper holes out again and crafting them, as they're an individual shape designed to hold the pins in place. And we've got a cutting disc in, so we're just going to cut a little. I think we'll start with a square and then we'll see about the rest of it. So this is what we're left with post cut. Now here I'm wondering what to do about this. You can kind of see there's a ring of corrosion there, so this may end up getting chopped out in the next breath and replaced simultaneously. I don't necessarily want to make the repair piece too large. I could do this in small pieces. This is a piece of steel I've got to repair it with, and as you can see it's perhaps a tiny bit thicker than the original. I measured the original at 2mm thick. So what I'm thinking about is put that bend in there, extend it, and then we'll go to there and then cut cut a little slither off and weld that in, and that should work. Well, I've cut further in, and I've cut out a piece of the replacement steel. Now to the right I went a bit too far with the blade, and I'm hoping that's not going to burn me, but that's roughly what we want to achieve. But we also need to put a bend in it. So this is the piece I cut out. It's quite thin steel, so that should give us the correct profile to superimpose on this repair. Well, we've marked our workpiece, and hopefully we've got the centre of the bend, as it looks reasonable at that, so we'll proceed to fold it. Now we've got that as our template, and what I did is I put a line that as square as possible and just moved it back, and I marked the centre of it. And it's always a good idea to mark your workpiece up with the orientation. That's T for top, because when you carry it to the garage and come back and forth, you can lose the plot a little. So now what I need to do, this is the offcut, I need to recreate a fold in this metal, and the only thing I've got is a vise. I don't have any fancy equipment. So I've put a piece of tape on just to mark the line where to fold it to, as I'm struggling to see a pencil line in my garage. And we'll get a hammer and we're just going to hit it. And it's the first time I've ever tried to fold metal this thick, actually. It's going to take a bit of doing, and we just keep working it along. So that's 3 passes, just doing a little bit at a time in the vise. Now we upgraded to a steel lump hammer, as the rubber hammer was laughing at me, and I'm quite satisfied with that. It's a little bit wonky in places, but we'll true that up. Now there's his original, and we've got a bit further to go yet, so I'll get it to approximately the correct dimensions. There's also another little tiny lip to put in just there, which I will attempt to put in. Now this steel's ever so slightly longer, just as a margin to work with. There's no point cutting it down lengthways till we've got the job welded in place. So with a couple more passes we're about there, and the old piece as a guide is going to tell you what needs further adjusting. So we've just got the tiny little fold to put on at the end. So this is the finished panel, and we'll just offer it up and see how it looks. Now we can either take a bit out the panel or the bumper just to make it fit. Now I've still got that fault to put in. I've deliberately held back on that until I get this fitting as good as possible. So I've got to put the fold in now, and as it happens, where I put the tape is a good place for the fold by pure luck. Well, I've just spent quite a good amount of time straightening these edges up, just basically by crushing them in the vise. So we've got that lip in. One of the hardest parts was getting the tape off, which you can see I still haven't fully succeeded. So now I'm going to clamp it up to the work, because I keep tweaking it, and I'm at the stage where I think it's just say, yeah, get it done. And we've got the replacement panel something like aligned. It's slightly thicker than the bumper, so I'm struggling to clamp them both together at the minute. I want to align it and put the first weld in. So I think I'm just going to hold it and use the grips to steady it. So that's the first weld on, that sets everything. If we're not happy, we grind that out. I'm quite happy with the way that edge is meeting. I'm splaying out ever so slightly there. I don't think that'll be an issue. I may try and rein that in a little, and we'll just put some little blob welds in, tackers work down, and then we can go for the full seam. Well, that's the repair section in place, and I'm using a gasless MIG on full power. So we'll flip it over when we're going to seam weld this, and we'll flip it over and check the penetration, because we may have to weld it on the other side too. And that's my welding repair, done with a flux cord MIG wire. Now, it's not the prettiest, but all welding, as long as it's solid, looks great. when it's been rubbed down with a flat disc or a grinding wheel. Well, I'm going to check the penetration here. You can see we haven't quite gone through, but it is a much thicker metal than what we're welding to. That's the opposite side done. So we'll focus on fabricating this repair patch and the many others. If you take an angle grinder to your work with a flat disc, you can smooth out the vast majority of it. There's just one or two pits, you can fill them and repeat the process if you so wish, but it's quite small, and I've got something planned for this bumper, so I'm not going to be doing that. And that's one side repaired. I'm reasonably pleased with that. So each bumper seems to come perhaps pre-drilled with 3 holes to the left and another 3 to the right. So what I want to do is fill them in with MIG weld, and then we'll rub them down smooth, as it's just a way for corrosion to get to the bumper. So that's all 6 filled in, so we'll hit that with a grinder and see what it looks like. So that's the 3 holes either side deleted and smoothed over. So this is another one of my repair sections that is so tight it's just wedged itself in place. So I'm really pleased with that. We'll get that welded in, and then some more, and then some more. So we've got a bit more there. Another section. That's the completed part I did. There's maybe a couple of little pits to fill. And that's another patch successfully done. Just got a bit of finishing off with a grinder. You do spend quite a bit of time getting the steel right, and it's all a bit of a compromise. I try and get the finished side flush, and then we tweak the rest of it to shape, and I make tiny little adjustments, usually using one pass from the cutting blade, just like so, as the other blades tend to round the corners off. So I think another little tweak there and that should drop down. I've decided I'm going to compromise on that. We're a little bit high there, but the thickness in the steel should allow for a reduction. And that concludes the repair for the metalwork. The brackets are still available. They're about, I would say about 36, possibly £40 each. But I've done a little repair on that one, and I took a bit more care of it on the smooth side. I need that side smooth, so that saved a few quid. And I'll just show you it full length. Now the next thing I'm going to do is trial fit it in the fibreglass surrounders. I think that side might have gone a little bit distorted. So that corner's touching just there. It looks as if it's turned itself down, and that's the corner I rebuilt, and that's touching, but it looks like the original was touching anyway. So I think I'll just straighten them up and hope for the best. There's a reasonable gap, a little bit less this side because of that touching corner there. That's roughly central, and then we're onto a taper. But I would imagine whoever made these mouldings, they did give a little bit of clearance in them, otherwise I'd have a lot of difficulty with assembly. But you can kind of see why they're rust in pieces when they're tightly encased in fibreglass. It's the ultimate water trap. Well, that steel put up a bit of a fight, but I've improved it. And that is the finished bumper after powder coating, and the surface is really good in some places and rough in others. But I think if you were have this bumper on show, you'd go to the lengths of giving it a good fill, but it's been powder coated, so that wasn't possible. Powder coating doesn't really like the rust. You can see it bubbles up there, but I think it will give it more protection than what I previously had, and it's even rougher on the inside. But it does look good in places, and I'm really happy that it's powder coated, as it might just hold the rust off a little more. And that's the bumper refitted. It's a view I'm not going to get much of, so we may as well embrace it. And that just leaves one job to do, being refit the bumper. Now I've done some repairs to this bumper, which are detailed in another video, Many thanks for watching, and why not subscribe to learn of more low cost repair solutions.